Pharmacies could soon be administering COVID-19 vaccines in Ontario and Alberta. The president of Shoppers Drug Mart says the pharmacy chain has already been in contact with public health units in Ontario. He says the program could be up and running quickly once they're given the green light.
You'd be ready to go within 48 to 72 hours, especially if you use the methodology that we already have in place for flu vaccination. We've just come off one of the largest flu vaccination seasons ever, and for our network, the Shoppers Drug Mart and the Loblaw Pharmacies, we did over 2.2 million flu shots over about 5 weeks. So we have a high capacity to process people, especially if you use that particular process.
All right, I want to bring in Justin Bates. He's the CEO of the Ontario Pharmacists Association. Good morning. Good to see you again. So we just heard a little bit more from the head of Shoppers Drug Mart. I wanted you to pick up on what he said. Why are pharmacies equipped to be able to do mass vaccinations? Why does this make sense?
Well, it really builds on the success of the flu vaccination program and leveraging the footprint that we have across the province. So all Ontarians live within 3 kilometers of a pharmacy. We have over 4,600 pharmacies that operate in every part of the province. So it's really about convenience. It's about choice of patients and accessibility. And we're going to need all of the resources available at our disposal in order to be successful in this significant undertaking. This is something we've never done before as a country, and pharmacists will play a really important role in educating against vaccine hesitancy, as well as ensuring that patients understand how safe and effective these vaccinations are.
Who would be administering the shot if you do, in fact, go to a pharmacy?
Yeah, it's a great question because this will be the first year that we have enabled pharmacy technicians as well as pharmacists to be able to administer the vaccination. So that'll add capacity to what we already do within our infrastructure, the technology, as well as the human resources that's going to be required in order to ensure that we can meet the demand that will be unprecedented. Certainly, we know from a pharmacy perspective, based on not only what we did in the flu season, but all the preparations that are going into this vaccination program, that we can do approximately 46 vaccinations per day per pharmacy. So that works out to over 1 million per week. And I think that's going to be extremely important to add capacity to what the primary care physicians will be offering, as well as the mass immunization clinics.
Now, do the pharmacies have to wait until we get a product that doesn't require deep freeze?
Well, certainly the complexity of managing what is very different in the different vaccines that are available. So you have the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, which requires more cold chain and sophisticated requirements and parameters. So pharmacies could certainly do that. We're seeing that in Alberta. There is the possibility of putting in freezers, as well as that product, when it is thawed, it can be stored at a refrigerator temperature between 2 to 8 degrees. All pharmacies have that capability, but when it's thawed, it's only its shelf life is 5 days. So that will require the booking of appointments to align with that. Certainly the Moderna vaccine and those that are awaiting Health Canada approval, like AstraZeneca, are more suited to community rollout. And we'll be planning for all of those scenarios as part of a tabletop exercise that we're engaging in collaborative discussions with the ministry to make sure we iron out all the operational elements and are ready to turn that switch when the supply is ready.
Yeah, and you just anticipated my next question, Justin. I was going to ask you about how deeply involved you are in the province of Ontario with the rollout of the program. How much communication has there been between you and the province? How much are they including you in their plans beginning mid-March?
Yeah, I think when we look at how this is being rolled out, the province has set the parameters and the guidelines around an ethical framework, looking at priority populations and the different phases of how and when this will roll out. So that's been a helpful guideline for the public health units because they will be developing the local vaccination plans. So we're engaging at a local level with the PHUs as well as with the province and the provincial task force to make sure that we have a significant role in terms of matching where the demand patterns are in the community, both in the footprint of the pharmacies, as well as being able to take that vaccine into vulnerable populations. And I think that's what we saw this year during the flu season, where we actually took the flu vaccine, to first responders and to high priority populations. So it's going to be very much a hybrid model. And we're engaged in all aspects of the planning when it relates to distribution, all the logistics, allocation, and ensuring we have consistent education and a screening and assessment process for patients, so that when we do move into the community in March or April, we're ready to start receiving patients.
All right. Justin Bates, CEO of the Ontario Pharmacists Association. Justin, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.